Yonex Dutch Junior International 2024 with the final in men's singles.
The unseeded Zhang, and who has not dropped a game yet this entire tournament, which is very impressive.
Yes, it's been smooth for him. Beating the number 12 seeded German Louis Pongratz in round 4, followed by 2 Korean players. His opponent had quite a different route, especially in the 3rd round.
That looked like somebody who might have got some match points down in the 3rd round.
I'm not sure about that, but I will tell you something about his opponent in the 3rd round. Jinlong Pan was number 1 seeded last year, and he was involved in the match of the tournament, everybody agreed, against the Japanese Okimoto, who went on to win the tournament, but he beat him with a similar score as this. There were match points there for Jinlong Pan. So twice this tournament he's been involved in maybe the match of the tournament, and twice he's lost. But this is days ago. We're here on Sunday afternoon. Only 2 people can reach the final. And everybody who stands here has thoroughly deserved it. And as we've gotten accustomed to, no coaching when China plays China. They let them battle it out. And I like that.
Got some heavy strapping on his right knee from Hu. I hope it won't bother him.
I'm sure they are aware of each other's fitness levels. Or
that's a good shot. No, these players probably train on a day-to-day basis. Between them, there won't be too much surprises. And to us, we can hope for a good match. That's tight.
That's over?
It went over. It just trickled over.
That's great. I remember a time when China had 2 countrymen playing each other in the final. There were always some suspicions. Bad tongues would say that they would decide beforehand who was allowed to win. I have a feeling those times are long gone, because I've seen some of the China matches in this tournament, and neither one wants to give an inch to the other one.
I think those days are gone as well, and especially in the finals. I mean, you already reached what you want to reach, so let them just play for it.
Yeah, but also I've seen some in quarterfinals, 3rd rounds. They're not trying to save energy for the rest of the tournament by not competing seriously.
They're just going for it.
Everybody's going for it. Yeah, it's nice to see. Should be like that in sport, of course.
That's a good shot. They also changed the rules after London 2012. And BWF decided to change the rules in such a way that if you give a walkover to a fellow countryman, you don't get any ranking points for the entire tournament. Or at least they do that on the senior level. So if you give a, well, call it a suspicious walkover, you don't get any ranking points, whether it's a semi-final or the first round. It doesn't matter. And it also tamps down all suspicions for countries.
Exactly, because we are now talking about it. Of course, this rule does not exist for one country specifically.
No, definitely.
It has been practiced for all over the world. It's a good thing that the BWF is trying to eliminate that, because we want to see athletes compete, of course.
That's a good net shot.
On who? Taking his time with receiving the serve.
They're both really going for the attack. As soon as they get a chance, it's 100%. I think they both missed like 1 or 2 and scored a few. But when they do get a chance, it's all in. Oof, just trickled over. They do look quite similar in playing styles. Oof. Luck on whose side this time?
Who was ranked number 1 at the beginning of the tournament, somehow dropped to 2. Still the number 1 seed here. Of course, he was not ranked number 1 at the start of the tournament, but at the moment of entry.
When the seeding was determined.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lovely reverse shot from Zhang. At the moment, Zhang is winning the net exchanges and forcing the lift from whose side.
This did not feel like a singles rally.
You see more and more these fast flow exchanges in men's singles. Back in the old days, people barely played a drive shot in men's singles. It was just a net game, a lift, and a smash and drop. And now you see more and more flat game in men's singles, women's singles.
I believe you just very subtly are calling me old.
Oh, trust me, I feel old as well.
Okay, that's good to know.
But back in the days of players like Linda and Tavakiriat, you wanted to win in the net, force a high lift, and then try and attack. And in modern day badminton, you see much more players playing deeper net shots and playing flatter lifts and even just going for the flat game straight out. And the main reason is you don't want to give your opponent the chance to play a tight spinning net shot. Because if you believe you are the better player, then you want to play the rally and win the rally, and not give him a chance to get lucky at the net court. And we see Zhang here taking an early lead with 11-5, playing a very attacking game. And without a coach, it's always hard to turn it around, so let's see what Hu comes up with.
Let's see if the top seed can fight back. That's long, I think. Yeah.
That's too bad. Zhang is really not giving him the opportunity to play his attacking game. Called good shot.
45.
It's almost a surprise to see somebody score with the drop shot. Everything's been very much power-based so far.
And they're both covering the court so well. So you feel like the only real chance you have to score a point is either by a smash or drive.
So these junior rankings, Jerry, what does it say really when you're top seed? It does not say nothing, of course, but what's the value of it?
I think it's hard to determine. I think mostly by country basis, it can tell you something. So the higher ranked Chinese player
It's
probably does the same type of tournaments as the others, but then just perform better.
yeah.
That's a good shot. But all in all, from all the years that I've been here, seeding doesn't always say that much.
No, because we saw a quick exit of a local hero, Priya. Plays for the club who organized the tournament, Duinwijk. And I believe in the local newspaper there were some articles with a sigh of relief. We finally have a contestant again, somebody who can go all the way. But being the second seed proved to be of no value. He, I believe, lost his first match to a Malaysian player. Key.
I think both in senior and in junior rankings, if you play in more tournaments, they just keep adding up the points without taking an average. I think up to maybe 10 or 12.
So playing a lot
pays
off in ranking-wise, yeah.
But still, if you don't win your matches, you don't get the points. So, you know, it does say something, but it's mostly not the whole story.
We've had for a long time in tennis that you could more or less predict Federer, Nadal, Djokovic in the finals, but
Badminton has these moments as well. I mean, in mixed doubles, China has been absolutely dominating the past couple of years with Zhang Xiwei and Huang Yaqiong. Victor Axelsen is also quite dominant in men's singles at the moment. So we've had these moments as well, but maybe not in tennis. It lasted maybe 10 years.
speaking of Axelsen, what do you make of the Danish team this year at the Yonex Junior?
I don't think the Danish team made it to the Saturday.
Saturday is when we play
Round of 16.
Yeah.
No, I think they played round of 16. With the Danish team, you never know if they're sending the full team or not. I mean, Holland is such a close-by tournament for them to play that they can choose whether or not they want to. And the Chinese team, when they go, they come with everyone and everything. And the same goes for the Korean team, the Japanese team. So we never get the B-listers, if you will. And with the European teams, they can more or less pick and choose their program.
You would think, especially for the Danish, who seem to be the only country to keep up with Asia in general
At the
in
senior
World
level.
Badminton. They would be wanting to show up here and see where they stand.
Maybe. Maybe European players will also just take a bit longer to mature. I mean, these players have been training basically full-time from the time they're like 10, 11 years old. And European school systems don't really allow for that amount of hours to spend on training. So mostly you see European players maturing just a bit older, bit later in life.
And by maturing, you mean physically?
Physically, but also just the level of consistency you see from players like Hu and Zhang, the low level of unforced errors. So it's not just speed or physicality, it's also just hours invested. So players like, I saw that Jesper Toft is playing well now at the men's doubles World Series level. And Jesper has also been a guest here at the Yonex Junior a couple of years ago.
I remember, yeah.
He
was by far the tallest player we had in that tournament.
I think by maybe a good 15 centimeters. But he just takes, it just took a little bit longer. And then you have players like Kunlavut Vititsarn, who wins a title here and then just takes 3 years to become world champion. It's just something else. And I mean, it's not genetic, it's just sporting culture in the country, hours invested, quality of sparring. So you mostly see Danish players, they catch on, but they catch on just maybe a bit later than...
But this is always a topic at the Yonex Junior.
How well are the Europeans doing?
Yeah, and then the answer almost gives itself when you walk in on a Friday or a Saturday. So we are always very impressed with how the Asians are developing their players. We're always hoping to learn something from it, but so far this year again it's been a dominant performance. Not just China, although this will be the third Chinese win, so you could call it dominance, but Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, Korea.
They're mostly calling the shots at Dutch Junior.
They are.
For a very long time.
And probably for a few years more. We saw the French making a good...
lucky in the shot.
Had a good few years. This year not so much. 2 ladies doubles in the quarterfinals.
And while we were talking, Zhang closes out the opening game. So
That's true. We should be talking about but we should have more respect for these players. Zhang putting up a great first set, 21-10.
It's also hard to comment when Zhang really plays a tight game. And we're back for a second game.
Yeah, let's hope for some more fight.
Serves over.
Who will have to fight hard at the net to get the initiative back from Zhang. Who so far has been playing a very good game. That's a good smash. Straight down the line.
Zhang even had the time there to to wait to check if the shuttle was going over. Oh, yes, it is. Well, let's continue the rally then.
Oof, good shot.
You always feel with good singles players, they seem to have time left with everything they do. You just talked about Viti Tsarn a few years ago. You seem to have half a second left with every shot.
You always get the sense they can play just a pace, just a bit higher, just a bit faster, and you just choose not to. But that's good technique, good footwork, good racket skill.
Oh, so close.
That's too bad. And here again, you see both men players choosing to lift to the forehand side a lot more often than around the head corner. And you saw from Zhang a few points back, they just have this killer smash from the overhead. You can turn your body a bit more efficiently in the overhead corner, so they can smash just harder from around the head compared to a forehand. You see both players therefore choosing to lift more and more to the deep forehand corner instead of the round head corner. Good shot, just like that. That's a weird shot.
5-2.
That's a good angle from Hu. Choosing not for full power.
6-2.
Good change up.
I have a feeling they brought their towels from the hotel here around the corner. But I'm sure they'll bring them back.
Sure. Oh. Zhang rushing there to get to the net.
7-2.
Good choice for going for the clear. Mixing it up after smashing for a set and a half.
8-2.
And now it's Zhang who suddenly is looking 6 points behind.
Feels like the same thing we saw in the ladies singles. One dominant set from one player, one dominant set from the other. And I know for a fact that there is no draft in the hall, but
Not too bad.
Serve so far. 3-8.
It's also something, you know, it's still junior badminton. They're both so very good. They're so fit, fast, and steady, but they're still juniors. You know, it's still mentally can be quite hard to play in a final.
it's also true that on the side where Zhang is standing right now, you can see the whole crowd. If you play here with your back towards them, it's just you and your opponent, and if you line judges. But when you walk across, you suddenly find out you're playing in front of a few hundred people.
And a few thousand on stream.
If we didn't scare them away already here.
It's something you see more in junior badminton. You know, it's nerves. It can be pressure. It can be pressure to perform well with the coaches and the team as well. But Zhang is not out of it.
No, definitely not.
It's
Nope.
up to 6-8. That's a good net shot from both.
Again, he has the time to watch the shuttle and just wait if it's going over.
think he's even checking if who is moving back or not. Who really taking the fight to the net now? Not going for the easy lift. And you see Zhang struggling to keep the initiative. That's a good net shot.
Now then. Yeah, there we go. Well worked point.
5, 6.
Compared to the first game, you saw Hu playing a bit more going for the easy lift at the net. So even as soon as Zhang stepped into the net and reached it high, Hu just opted for, okay, I'll push it to the back. And then I have to defend. And now you see Hu working very hard to get his racket up high at the net, take the shuttle early. And now it's the question, like, can he keep this up for the rest of the match? Well worked again. It's just such a small tactical change, but now, I mean, it's the difference between being 5 points down and being 4 points up. Oof.
11-6. Hit the ball. And just please wipe the court. Play. Up. 12-6.
So you were talking about a slight change in tactics can make a big difference. Sometimes as a player you find out that something works, you don't always immediately have to use it. You can also keep it up your sleeve, maybe for when the score is really tight, when it's 18-18, maybe you can use it, because if you change tactics and you make clear to your opponent you're doing something different, he's going to work on a solution. So it's a choice you have to make.
I hear that sometimes. I never really know if that's a good choice. I mean, would you play a less effective shot because you're keeping it up your sleeve until 18-18? Or would you rather be 18-15 up? It's I sometimes hear it. I'm never really quite sure if it's a good choice. Well reached by Hu. They're both so similar in playing style, Jules. Sometimes I get the feeling I've already seen this rally. Oh, that's a good shot by Zhang.
I don't believe you've seen that before. That's nice. I get your point.
They both move so well. Their defensive work covers the court so good.
When the power is needed, they give the power. It's true. And on top of that, like you said, they probably know each other quite well.
Good variation by Hu going for the body smash.
14-10.
That's a good spin by Hu.
15-10.
Neither of them look particularly tired. I don't think physicality will be a factor, even if it goes to a third game. Although all of that can change in one or two rallies, of course.
Called good by the umpire. I think they're both just as fit, just as fast. I think the most important tactical decision they both have to make is how do I keep the initiative? Because even though they're both defensively very good, most of the points scored are really just scored points from gaining the attack.
11-16.
And we saw Hu trying out some variations with the punch clear, the stop drop shot, and that's why he's in front.
Please explain to me what a punch clear is.
A normal clear is just a relaxed stroke. And you go to the back, you hit a clear, and everybody knows. What Hu did a few points back was you jump up. You give everyone the impression you're going for either a steep smash or a full smash, and then with a very short rapid movement, you go for a clear. So you sort of you punch it.
Thank you, Gary. It's nice to learn something new every day, and I think this was it for me.
19-11.
Short lift. And Zhang is really struggling to gain the attack and to convert it to a point. It's a big difference from the first game. Not entirely unlike the women's singles.
Yeah, and in that
That's
wow,
a great way to finish.
That's great.
Oh,
In the women's singles, we got a great third game, so
let's
let's
see.
hope for that.
What a way to close out the second game by Hu.
Second game starting. Russia 21-11. One game all.
Better net again.
So far, Hu has been the only one showing some emotion and doing some yelling. Zhang's been very quiet. I've seen some of his previous matches. He has some volume when he feels he needs it.
Maybe it's respect for teammates. You never really know.
As we speak, he starts yelling as well.
Commentators curse again.
That's nice. Maybe we should stick to just commentating what we see and not predicting things.
Pretty good variation from Hu. I think Zhang was really just caught off guard by how fast the backhand shot was.
There's a little psychological game going on right now.
Refusing to change the shuttle.
Exactly. So what you said earlier about respect for teammates.
Maybe just they both want to win.
And as they should.
Oh yes, of course. Hu refusing to lift.
That's great.
That's a good flat shot. Zhang is really trying to just move Hu around the court because Hu refused to lift, keeps playing down or flat. And he just said, I think Zhang is really just trying to make the court big for Hu, but it's at the moment it's not really working. Hu just covers the court really well. He just can keep playing down, keep gaining the initiative. He's doing really well. And I think that's why it's 4-1 up. But it's very tiring to play a no-lift game in men's singles.
2-4.
That was almost an invitation.
Hu's backhand shot was not punished by Zhang. Yeah, that's done. Oh. Oh.
No apologies.
Zhang doing well to stay in this game.
Zhang sometimes gambling where the lift's going to go and trying to intercept it with power like this. If you gamble right, you score, but if you're wrong, you're in trouble. With any kind of gambling, I suppose.
5-3. Serves over. 4-5.
It's a good net shot by Zhang. Doing well and levels the score at 5-0.
5-0.
Ooh, try a trick shot. Both men really standing their ground in the net at the moment. Neither wants to give away the lift. They're both so deadly in the attack. There should come a time when the lift is a good option. They're both just, there's the right foot in front of the service line, just waiting for each other to hit the net shot back as a net shot. There should come a time when it's a better idea to play the flat lift. Like that. It's a good shot. Zhang really opening up the court.
Yeah, the momentum just keeps switching. Just when you think somebody's found the solution, the other player makes a few points, and
Now 5 out of the last 6 points to Zhang.
yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 11-8 for who at the interval. It's
I agree. Colton.
oh, that's so close. But well worked. You have to appreciate Zhang really going for his points. Going for the score. He doesn't want to wait until something's coming to him. He goes out to get it.
I also think he might have to, because he is such a decent player, covering the court, defending well. You have to go for the scoring point. And it's good to see them both challenging each other at the net. Makes for a fun match.
I thought we were going to see somebody play 3 high backhands in a row, but very rare sight at this level. But it's just wide.
Good spinning net shots from Zhang again, running the attack. Well played.
I mean, the height of the jump was ridiculous.
10, 7.
No, he's really putting in the effort. His shirt is also absolutely drenched in sweat.
Are you allowed to change it at the 11-point mark at the interval?
Yeah, sure. The players often do. At higher level tournaments, there are some regulations about what color. So sometimes you have to change shirts, but change into the exact same shirt. But that's about it. Well worked rather by both.
Yeah, it's well played. And the crowd like it too.
And we're in the final stretch of the men's singles final. And I was just telling Jules, I think Zhang looks a bit more tired than Hu. But with 11-7 up, I think the finish line might be in sight.
Yeah, I'm not sure our definition of being tired is the same as for these guys.
More tired than Hu, perhaps. But let's see, they just had a short break. And like I said, you're in the final stretch. Whoa.
What happened?
I could barely see if it made it
didn't
over.
make it. No.
8, 12.
So whatever the result, these players are going on to the German Junior next week.
Serves over.
Tournaments are
Back to back.
back-to-back placed in the calendar each year, so
13, 8.
it's especially for the junior players that are not yet traveling the world on a week-to-week basis as the seniors do. They can put 2 great tournaments, big tournaments, in one trip. For a lot of these players, it's the first time abroad, or the first time far
Europe.
away, at least, or the first time in Europe. You have to get used to the
Well
food
done,
over here.
The temperature probably as well.
We have, interesting winters we have here in the Netherlands.
30.
I remember a year with some snow a few years back, which was quite interesting to see people who've lived their whole life in a country with 25 degrees or more see their first snow.
I remember in addition with Singapore players training with the gloves on because they were so cold.
And very often we see different winners in Germany. You would say, if you win this week, why not win next week? But there are so many, it's so tight at the top level.
Checking to see if it was out. Plenty of time left for who. Oh, what a good rally. An important point for
good
who.
lift.
Punch clear again.
We should celebrate that one.
Very hard work by both players. And also quite an important point to be either 11-13 or 14-10.
Yeah, nobody is called at the moment. Match is heating up.
And let's see if who can keep this up because they may not have won the last point, but yeah, I think he did the right things to stay in this match. He got there early at the net, tried to push Zhang to the corners.
I think he's making the right decisions in his footwork. Zhang seems to be anticipating very well at the moment.
It allows him to keep the pressure on who at almost at all times.
Exactly. Oh, we've got some injury
I think
trouble.
the medic is called for the.
You think it's something with the muscles, or maybe the finger and blood?
I think he pointed to his finger. I'm not really sure. Sometimes when players dive, their fingers touch the ground and it can get pinched between your racket grip and the floor. But no, he's pointing to his knee.
A magical cold spray.
And at 15-10, I think he just lost 2 important points. This might just be a break in the rhythm. But let's hope his knee is holding up.
Cold spray is not really a medicine, but it narrows the blood vessels, so it also numbs a little bit. It can be quite dangerous if you get overconfident, if there's really something wrong. But let's hope this is just a small injury. It relieves your pain for a second.
60.
the spray, but well worked point.
11-16.
Again, Zhang reaching the shot very high the net, earning himself initiative again and again. He's really pushing Hu.
Yeah. I think he's dominating at the moment.
Playing really well.
17-11.
And that's also something you see more and more in men's singles. After a smash, trying to go for a flat defense. It was a rarity a few years ago, and now it's becoming more and more normal. So instead of going for a block or a lift, go for a flat shot. You see Hu trying the same, but Zhang is just coping with it really well.
That's out.
Right.
I think we may be nearing the end.
Zhang is playing so steady. I don't see Hu coming up with a way to gain back 7 points. Look how close he is to the service line and receiving the serve. Yeah, no wonder Zhang flicks. That's unlucky.
By that smile, I think we can see he's conceded a little bit.
Quietly resigning maybe. But I don't see him quitting outright. He'll play for it till the end. I think the pressure Zhang is putting on this match. That's a good shot.
12-19.
Maybe just catching his breath for the next explosion.
Maybe he's looking to score a few easy points, but Hu won't give him. See Hu really opening up the court, playing the high clear, playing the high lift, forcing Zhang to all 4 corners. Again. That's a good shot.
De prijsuitreiking van de Yonex Dutch Junior International 2000.
Such a good shot.
That's it.
What an amazing final.
Very much earned winner, deserved winner. Zhang, winner of the men's singles Natenstedt Junior 2024. 3 in a row for China.
De prijsuitreiking van de Yonex Dutch Junior International 2024 wordt mede mogelijk gemaakt door Van de Kolk Hypotheken. Hypotheken, financieringen en verzekeringen. De prijsuitreiking van de Yonex Dutch Junior International 2024 wordt mede mogelijk gemaakt door Van de Kolk Hypotheken. Hypotheken, financieringen en verzekeringen. De prijsuitreiking van de Yonex Dutch Junior International 2024 wordt mede mogelijk gemaakt door Van de Kolk Hypotheken. Hypotheken, financieringen en verzekeringen. De prijsuitreiking van de Yonex Dutch Junior International 2024 wordt mede mogelijk gemaakt door Van de Kolk Hypotheken. Hypotheken, financieringen en verzekeringen.
My dear friends and family of the Yonex Dutch Junior International 2024, I'm back again. But now, please welcome the finalists of the prize ceremony of the Yonex Dutch Junior 2024 men's singles. Please welcome to the stage Jaap van der Kolk, CEO of Van der Kolk Hypotheken. Please give a warm hand for this year's semi-finalist of the Yonex Dutch Junior International 2024 from Korea, Hyung-Woo Cho. Please put your hands together for this year's runner-up of the men's singles of the Yonex Dutch Junior International 2024 from China, Zian Hu. And now for the champion of the men's singles of the Yonex Dutch Junior International from China, Zhang. And again, in these shuttles, there's a lottery ticket. Please exchange these tickets at the information desk. And now we're up for the last two